Welcome back to today's video. In this episode, we'll follow the journey of a man as he builds a house and creates a unique living space deep in the forest. Watch closely to see how he transforms raw nature into a home, and stay until the end to witness the amazing final result. The house is designed in a very unique way, with half of it built underground and the other half rising above the surface. This not only gives it a natural blend with the surrounding forest, but also makes the structure more solid and well protected. To begin, he carefully sets up the wooden frame, laying out the foundation for what will become the walls. One by one, heavy wooden beams are stacked tightly on top of each other, each piece fitting snugly to cover and strengthen the wall. As the process continues, the shape of the house slowly takes form. Before long, three sides of the wall stand firmly in place, surrounding the living space and giving the house its first true sense of shelter and security. The roof above is also carefully covered with wooden beams, layer by layer, until it is completely sealed. This not only shields the house from rain and wind, but also adds to the rustic beauty of the structure. With the roof in place, the underground home feels much more complete, transforming from a simple frame of wood into a solid shelter that blends naturally with the forest around it. The roof is then sealed with a waterproof layer, ensuring the house will stay dry and protected even during heavy rains. On top of that, a covering of fresh green moss is added, giving the structure a natural camouflage that makes it blend seamlessly into the forest landscape. Inside the house, the floor is carefully lined with wooden planks, creating a smooth and sturdy surface to walk on. At the front of the house, he begins arranging sturdy wooden beams one after another, carefully stacking them to form the main wall. The process is slow and deliberate, as each piece must fit tightly to keep the structure firm and secure. In the middle, he leaves an open space that will become the entrance, the pathway leading into this hidden underground dwelling. This opening not only allows him to move in and out, but also creates a natural flow of light and air into the interior. Once the doorway is framed, he continues filling in the remaining gaps with wood, sealing them completely so the wall feels solid and protective. As the last beams are placed, the front face of the house finally comes together, standing strong while the doorway remains as a welcoming passage into the shelter he has built deep in the forest. Around the outside of the house, he carefully spreads layers of green moss, letting it cling naturally to the wooden walls and roof. Over time, the soft moss begins to cover the structure like a living blanket, blending the home seamlessly into its forest surroundings. To complete the entrance, he crafts and installs a sturdy wooden door, carefully fitting it into the frame so it opens and closes with ease. The door not only provides security, but also gives the underground home a finished and welcoming look. Once the entrance is in place, he turns his attention to the heart of the living space, building and setting up a fireplace. Made from stone and clay, the fireplace will serve both as a source of warmth on cold nights and a place to cook meals. With the doors secured and the fireplace ready, the house now feels alive. The chimney is then carefully wrapped with an insulating layer to protect it from the intense heat and to prevent any risk of fire. This insulation not only makes the fireplace safer, but also helps the chimney release smoke more efficiently. To make the interior brighter and more comfortable, he cuts out a section of the wooden wall and installs a glass window. The clear glass allows sunlight to stream into the underground home, filling the space with warmth and a view of the surrounding forest. After finishing the window, he turns to the interior and begins crafting a wooden table. He places it right beneath the window, creating a perfect spot to work, enjoy meals, or simply sit and admire the scenery outside. This small addition not only makes the house more functional, but also adds a cozy charm to the living space. At the front of the house, he chooses to expand the space by adding a porch, creating a more open and welcoming entrance. The process begins with the preparation of strong wooden beams, each one carefully measured and cut to ensure stability. These beams will serve as the main support for the structure, so every detail must be precise. Next, he attaches hinges and metal fasteners at the key joints, reinforcing the frame so that it can stand firmly against the weight of the roof and the changing weather. Once the materials are ready, he starts assembling the basic framework. One by one, the beams are lifted and set into position, gradually outlining the shape of the porch. The skeletal structure soon rises in front of the house, marking the beginning of a space where he can relax, work. At the center of the main framework, he raises a strong central ridge to support the porch roof. This beam acts as the backbone of the entire structure, holding the weight of the roof and keeping the frame balanced on both sides. Carefully lifting it into place, he secures it tightly so it stands firm and steady. From the central ridge of the porch, he begins attaching wooden planks, working his way downward toward the edges on both sides. Each plank is carefully positioned and secured, forming a neat slope that gradually closes off the roof. As more boards are added, the open framework transforms into a solid covering, fully enclosing the porch above. The wooden roof not only shields the entrance from rain and sunlight, but also adds a rustic charm. On top of the porch roof, he adds a protective sheet of nylon, carefully stretching it across the surface to make sure it covers every gap. This waterproof layer acts as a shield against heavy rain, keeping the porch dry and extending the life of the wooden structure beneath. Once secured, the nylon is pressed tightly in place, hidden under the natural wooden planks and beams. With this layer of protection, the porch becomes not only a cozy extension of the house, but also a safe and durable space that can withstand the changing weather in the forest. Finally, he spreads a thick layer of green moss across the porch roof, covering it completely so it blends seamlessly with the main roof of the house. The soft moss creates a natural harmony between the porch and the underground dwelling, making the entire structure look as though it has grown out of the forest itself. Beyond its beauty, the moss also adds insulation, helping to keep the interior cool during hot days and warm when the weather turns cold. Beneath the porch, he begins shaping the ground to form clear edges around the structure. With steady movements, he digs and evens out the soil, giving the base of the porch a clean and defined outline. At the same time, he carefully carves out a set of steps that lead from the lower level of the underground house up to the porch. Each step is measured and leveled so that it feels sturdy underfoot, making the climb easy and natural. As the edges take form and the staircase is completed, the entrance to the house becomes more practical and inviting, guiding anyone who approaches smoothly from the ground below into the cozy shelter above. Along the edges of the staircase, he installs a series of vertical wooden posts, placing them one by one in a straight line. These sturdy posts act as a protective barrier, enclosing the sides of the stairs and giving them a well-defined shape. Each post is firmly anchored into the ground to ensure stability, while their vertical alignment adds both safety and strength to the structure. To finish the staircase, he carefully lays wooden planks across each step, fastening them securely into place. The smooth surface of the wood transforms the rough earthen stairs into a sturdy and comfortable pathway, making the climb much easier and safer. Each plank is cut to fit neatly, lining up in an even pattern that highlights the careful craftsmanship behind the work. To make the porch stronger and protect it from erosion, he turns his attention to the edges surrounding it. The soil around the porch is vulnerable to rain and weather, so he begins by driving sturdy wooden posts vertically into the ground. Each post is carefully measured, cut, and positioned side by side, forming a tight row of anchors that press firmly into the earth. Once the foundations of the vertical beams were secured, he moved on to the next step, laying the horizontal timbers on the posts. He aligned them neatly, fitting each board into the other until the exposed soil around the porch was completely sealed. The reinforced sides now stand as strong, weather-resistant walls, ensuring the porch will remain steady through rain, wind, and time. At the same time, the warm texture of the wood enhances the rustic beauty of the house. He also creates a simple self-burning stove, designed entirely from wood. To begin, he selects a thick, solid log that is dense enough to hold fire without collapsing too quickly. Once the piece is chosen, he drills a deep vertical hole straight down through the center, forming the main chamber where the fire will burn. Then, he carefully drills a second hole from the side of the log, connecting it to the vertical chamber. This side opening acts as an air vent, allowing oxygen to flow in and helping the flames burn steadily and efficiently. With just these two cuts, the wooden log is transformed into a natural stove, ready to provide warmth and a steady flame for cooking. On the side of the house, he begins constructing a square-shaped frame, carefully joining the wooden beams together so that it extends straight down into the ground. This sturdy frame forms the outline of a box-like structure, which he plans to use as a firewood storage shed. Each post is firmly anchored into the soil, ensuring the frame stands solid and won't shift over time. By stacking the beams and reinforcing the corners, he creates a strong foundation that can support the weight of heavy logs. The open design allows air to circulate freely, keeping the stored wood dry and ready for use. Placed right beside the house, the shed is both practical and convenient, close enough to the fireplace for easy access, yet built with enough care to blend naturally with the rustic style of the home. To complete the structure, he begins covering all 4 sides of the frame with wooden planks. Each board is measured and cut to fit, then nailed tightly into place so that the walls stand firm against the elements. One side after another is enclosed until the open framework gradually transforms into a solid box-shaped shed. The wooden panels not only protect the firewood from wind and rain, but also give the storage space a neat finished appearance. By the time the 4th side is closed, the structure feels strong and dependable, ready to serve as a secure shelter for the logs that will keep the house warm through many cold nights. For the roof of the firewood shed, he first adds a layer of waterproof covering, making sure it stretches tightly across the top to keep out rain and moisture. This protective layer ensures that the firewood inside will stay dry and ready to use at any time. Once the waterproofing is secured, he carefully spreads a thick layer of green moss across the roof, covering it completely. The moss softens the look of the structure, blending it seamlessly with the surrounding forest and matching the natural design of the main house. With its waterproof layer hidden beneath and its mossy surface on top, the roof not only protects the firewood, but also gives the shed a rustic charm. In front of the house, he began building an outdoor stone stove, a simple but practical addition to the living space. He carefully selected sturdy bricks and stones, laying them one by one into a neat circle. Each brick was placed precisely, and gaps were filled to make the structure solid and stable. Layer by layer, the outdoor stove takes shape, rustic in appearance but highly functional. Positioned just in front of the house, it becomes a convenient spot for cooking, grilling, or simply gathering around the fire, adding both utility and warmth to the forest home. At the back of the firewood shed, he closes off the remaining open side to make the structure more secure. Using solid wooden planks, he carefully fits each piece into place, sealing the rear wall completely. This extra layer of protection shields the firewood from wind and rain coming from behind, ensuring the logs inside stay dry and well preserved. With the back fully enclosed, the shed now feels complete and sturdy, not just a simple frame, but a fully functional storage space. He then begins splitting large logs into smaller pieces of firewood, using steady, powerful strikes to cut them cleanly. Each piece is trimmed to just the right size, making it easy to store and burn later. Once enough wood is prepared, he carefully stacks the split logs inside the shed, arranging them neatly so air can flow through and keep them dry. Little by little, the storage space fills up with rows of firewood, a reserve that will provide warmth and fuel for cooking day after day. With the wood neatly gathered and put away, he now has a steady supply that can be used gradually over time, ensuring the house always has a source of comfort ready at hand. Finally, He takes a rake and begins cleaning the yard around the house. With steady strokes, he clears away fallen leaves. Once the area is tidy, he scatters grass seeds across the soil, carefully spreading them so they cover the entire yard. In time, these seeds will sprout and grow into a soft green carpet of grass. And with that, his journey comes to an end. Thank you for following along and being part of this adventure. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next episodes. Goodbye, and see you again soon.